Whether you're an HR professional, small business owner, office manager, or someone wanting to learn more about today's work environment, we're here to help. We take a dive into our HR Toolbox to bring you an in-depth look at a different HR topic, regulation, or business solution. Send us an email at hrtoolboxpod@gmail.com to suggest a topic or resource tool you'd like to learn more about. The HR Toolbox is here to help businesses stay compliant and competitive. I am your host, Amy Alden. I am committed to your business success one tool at a time. Welcome to the HR Toolbox, the podcast where we help you build your toolbox of resources, best practices, and strategies shaping the world of HR and business today. This is our very first episode, and we are really excited that you're here. Today, we are introducing you to our HR Toolbox podcast. So let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. I am a certified senior professional in human resources through both HRCI and SHRM. I have almost 2 decades in senior management, human resources, and business operations. I started my own business, Myth Operational Solutions, in early 2020. I focus on human resources and operations consulting. I enjoy teaching HR concepts, business regulations, and managerial skills. I operate in the deserts of California, but I help businesses nationwide. I am a full-time caregiver. I enjoy reading. I love petting and spoiling on our 4 fur babies, and I proudly own up to my nerdiness. So let's start this off. Let's dive in and see what we find in our HR Toolbox this week. Coming up on the calendar, February 4th is National Thank a Mail Carrier Day. I think I can say all business owners like that when the check is in the mail, that it actually gets delivered. Thank your mail carriers to show you appreciate them for continuing on, rain or shine. This week is also International Networking Week. Whether on LinkedIn or in person, make some business connections this week and throughout the year to help expand your business and professional network. Did you know that it's time to post your OSHA 300A form? From February 1 to April 30th each year, you need to be posting your OSHA 300A form. This form gives an aggregated summary of the number of recorded work comp cases, days away from work, or days on work restriction, as well as the category of injury that are happening in your work environment. Make sure that the form is posted in a conspicuous place in the workplace. Did you know that the IRS offers free filing? The IRS Free File program is available in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. It gives taxpayers access to a number of different tax software options from Free File Alliance members and provides easy, guided, free federal tax preparation and filing. It is available to persons with an adjusted gross income of $84,000 or less. Many Free File Alliance members will provide state tax preparation software for free or for a small fee. Our definition of the week: small business. A small business is a for-profit business that is independently owned and operated. It has 500 or fewer employees and or has an average annual receipts of $7.5 million in non-manufacturing businesses. It operates in the U.S. market according to the Small Business Administration. Today we are discussing the makeup of small businesses in America and why the HR Toolbox was created. Data discussed in today's episode is from the 2023 Small Business Administration Office of Advocacy and the 2022 Census Bureau's Annual Business Survey. Did you know that there are 33.2 million small businesses in the United States? That is 99.9% of businesses in the U.S., according to the Small Business Bureau. That is a massive amount of businesses. Your next question might be, well, what are they counting as a small business? In the U.S., according to the SBA, a small business is defined as one who employs 500 employees or fewer. And I know 500 employees does not seem like a small business. So let's break this down. Of those 33.2 million small businesses, over 82% of them operate without any employees. This leaves us with roughly 6 million small businesses in the U.S. that employ workers. Those 6 million small businesses employ about 61.6 million workers. That's about 45.9% of Americans. Almost half of the United States population is employed by a small business. And we can still be thinking that 500 employees is not small. And I would agree. When I think of small businesses, I am not thinking about 500 employees. So can this be broken down further? Yeah, we can. Of those 6 million small businesses, 49% have only 1 to 4 workers. So it's about 3 million businesses, only 1 to 4 employees. About 27% of small businesses have between 5 and 19 employees. The businesses with 20 to 99 employees only make up about 8% of small businesses. And for 100 to 499 employees, that's only 1% of small businesses. For those playing the home game and are rock stars with mathematics, my hat is off to you. We have about 14% of businesses that are not broken down by size. That's because we know that at some point in the year that these numbers were calculated, 14% of small businesses had paid employees at some point in the year, but not during the monthly pay period that was used to determine the employment size for this census data. My focus today is on small businesses with less than 100 employees. So let's add this up. 3 million businesses have 1 to 4 employees. 1.6 million businesses have 5 to 19 employees. 480,000 businesses have 20 to 99 employees. And if we only count half of the businesses that had employees at some point, so if we only count 7% of small businesses, that's 420,000 businesses. That gives us 5.5 million businesses that have less than 100 employees. 5.5 million businesses in the United States, where a majority of those have less than 20 employees. Those 5.5 million businesses are the focus and beneficiary of this podcast. You may ask why my focus is on those businesses. It's because I believe that the skills and knowledge of HR professionals should be more widely available to small business owners, small business admins and managers, and to employees to promote better workplaces, regardless of size. Now, several leading HR organizations like SHRM and AIHR state that the right amount of HR professionals to employee ratio is 1.7%. So for every 100 employees, an employer would have 1.7 HR professionals on staff. Small organizations will usually hire their first HR person between 20 and 50 employees. So for small businesses, 1 HR person per 50 employees is what you're typically going to see. And even then, they may have not only the very wide amount of HR functions on their plate, but the responsibilities of office management and other administrative tasks may also be part of their position. For those small business owners and HR professionals out there, let's start to think about when you see changes in leave laws, benefit laws, reporting regulations as they relate to employee size. Anywhere from 5 to 100 employees is when we see a majority of the changes in adherence take effect. The CalSavers retirement program in California starts when you have 5 employees. OSHA record keeping is required once you have 10 employees. The COBRA continuation needs to be provided once you reach 20 employees. FMLA leave becomes available at 50 employees. And the EEOC Component 1 reporting needs to start once you have 100 employees. 4 of the 5 of those are federal regulations. This does not take into account any state or local regulations. Now, being based in California, I can tell you that in just the 24 leave laws that are in effect in California, 13 of those are based on a specific employee size. 5 of them take effect once you have 5 or more employees. 3 of them once you have 15 or more employees. Another 3 start once you have 25 employees. And then there's 2 of them that start once you have 50 employees. So let's take a moment to comprehend this. A majority of small businesses, over 4.6 million businesses, are not big enough to justify a dedicated HR on staff to keep up with changing laws. to keep up with updated regulations or be familiar with best practices to stay compliant, let alone handle the full scope of what human resources really encompasses in every workplace. Why does this matter to me so much? Yes, I'm a senior certified HR professional, so it could be argued that I really like human resources. And I honestly do. I do, for many reasons. I also enjoy writing policies and procedures, and I know this makes me weird, but I own it and I enjoy it. But this podcast was created because I believe that small businesses are essential to our economy. And not because there's so many of them, or for the number of Americans employed by small businesses. Both impressive. But the numbers don't stop there. For almost 30 years, small businesses have accounted for, on average, 45% of the United States gross domestic output, our GDP. In 2021, that was over $16.2 trillion in revenue. So we have over 6 million small businesses that employ almost half of the United States and brings in almost half of the US GDP. But almost 5 million of them cannot justify a dedicated HR professional in their workplace. Where does this leave small business owners? They're struggling to stay ahead of employment laws and regulations. They're trying to stay profitable while also trying to stay compliant. They're working hard to be productive while also trying to create an effective and positive work environment. Sometimes it results in monthly HR subscriptions that can spit out any number of laws and provide static policies that are not created for a majority of work environments in mind. I am passionate about small business success. I want to help small businesses build their toolbox of resources, best practices, and strategies. I believe that small businesses are an integral part of our economy. Again, 6 million small businesses in the US, 61.6 million workers, bringing in just under half of the US GDP. It is very clear that small businesses are needed, but running a small business is tough. As a business owner myself, when you start a business, you are inundated with sales to purchase compliance material. Just inundated. For a new business owner, you want to be compliant. You want to make sure that you are following employment laws and regulations. The problem comes in when you're not sure what compliance material is correct and what are just good marketing ploys. Also, starting a new business is not cheap. Resources are thin, and making sure you're following the rules while also not breaking the bank can be overwhelming. You hear scare tactics like legal action and expensive fines if you don't purchase the right compliance material. But what I've found is that most compliance material being sold may not be legally required. It is not customized for particular workplaces, or it might not be helpful in actual procedure implementation. Just having these materials is not useful if they're not used. I do want businesses to be compliant. I want them to have productive, fair, and safe work environments. But it does not need to be cost prohibitive. It does not need to be confusing and difficult. There are many free and low-cost resources out there that many just don't know about. There are many regulatory agencies that are there to be a partner to businesses and have resources set aside to assist businesses adhere to policies and regulations. There are many vendors out there that offer beneficial products that help improve the work environment that small business owners may not get access to or be aware of. For instance, how many leaders are scared of an OSHA visit? How many business owners think that OSHA is only there to find safety issues and to heavily fine and shut down businesses? OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, it is not there just to try to shut down businesses. OSHA is there to ensure that American workers have safe working conditions. And I don't know any small business owners who want their employees to get hurt. Small business owners and OSHA are all on the same page, yet many people are nervous about interacting with OSHA. But did you know that OSHA provides a no-cost, confidential consultation for small businesses in all 50 states and several U.S. territories? If you ask OSHA, they will come to your business and help identify and address hazards. They help with improvement recommendations. They will help you with creating and improving your safety programs, and they'll provide you with a timeline to correct any imminent dangers or hazards. But these visits are meant to work with business owners to create a safe working environment. Because if you work with OSHA on this free confidential consultation, no fines or penalties will be assessed as a result of their visit. Again, OSHA is not there just to try and shut businesses down. They want what most of us want, a safe workplace. And this consultation is estimated to reduce workplace injuries by 10% for the employers who participate in these visits. But how many are aware that this resource is there or even know how to get started? I know that there are many businesses out there who are intimidated by how to write useful policies. They're confused on how procedures should be written. They're anxious about legalities around safety, work comp, and other employment laws and regulations. They are overwhelmed. That is why I started the HR Toolbox podcast. Each week, we will take a dive into our HR Toolbox to bring you an in-depth look at a different HR topic, regulation, or business solution. We will walk through HR issues and questions to help identify solutions, resources, and process improvement. We will help you build your own HR toolbox, one tool at a time. The key takeaways from today: almost half of Americans work for small businesses. The common ratio of HR professionals to employees is 1.7%. Now here's some resources that may help. SBA.gov, the Small Business Administration. They help small businesses confidently start, grow, and expand their businesses. They are dedicated to small businesses with a myriad of free services and resources that can help you and your small business wherever you are in the United States. For instance, the SBA District Office in Buffalo, New York, has got a 2-part workshop starting mid-February, and that workshop is going to cover starting and successfully operating a small business, and it includes topics on banking, accounting, insurance, sales, and marketing. The SBA District Office for Nebraska has a weekly online instructor-led 10-class series that's focused on smart money and small business, and that covers record keeping, insurance, tax planning, and managing cash flow. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Send us an email at hrtoolboxpod@gmail.com to suggest topics and let us know what tools you are looking for to improve your workplace. Follow us to stay up to date with the latest HR Toolbox resources and news. See you in the next episode. Don't let anyone put a wrench in your week.